Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly. I hope everyone's well. Today, we are going to be taking a little look forward to pre-season and what we could have in store. So without further ado, let's go. Yes, West Ham Network. So today we're going to be taking just a moment away from the transfer rumours and everything that comes with the summer window to discuss pre-season, what it could mean for us, what we have to look forward to, and what we are wondering as fans. So as a club, I feel like we rarely utilise the pre-season to actually make the season more simple for ourselves. I feel like we've made a right pig's ear of it multiple times recently. And we've just got this habit of never really using pre-season to actually help a manager or head coach find their feet, and that's what it needs to be there for. Then when we brought Lopetegui in, we actually had a decent amount of time for him to work with the players and find his best starting 11, and I remember being so excited going, hang on a second, this is the winning formula. We've invested a bit. We've got a new head coach who actually has time to work out what he can do with the players that we've got. And I suppose looking back, this was where we started to see those challenges because we weren't using pre-season to build that consistency that was going to help us once the season started. But as we know, it went on from there. And however months later, it became clear that the pre-season under Lopetegui didn't help us anyway. Neither did the actual season itself, because again, we weren't finding what worked and sticking with things. We were just tearing it up every week and starting afresh. And it wasn't just the pre-season, but it was also the season where that happened. But this year, I feel like there is no excuse for us to not use our pre-season effectively. There are two reasons I'm going to be running through shortly. But first, let's talk through our fixtures. So our first official game of pre-season is in 24 days. First up, we have got a friendly in Switzerland on the 19th of July against Grasshoppers. People named the Grasshoppers, hopefully not actual grasshoppers. Then it's the Premier League Summer Series played in the USA, which gives us a bit of time to play against Premier League opposition and gives us an idea of where we also stand against them at their level, and basically look at what we could expect and how good they're going to be as the season starts to approach. So first up, we've got Man United on the 27th of July. Then we've got Everton on the 30th of July. And then we have got Bournemouth on the 3rd of August. And we've got one final friendly against Lille on the 9th of August, which is going to be at the London Stadium, before we begin our Premier League campaign for the 25-26 season, just a week later on the 16th of August. So the big question, and I want to know your thoughts on this, why is this pre-season so important? So we find ourselves in this position where we've got a consistent head coach. Potter has had time to work out our issues, or work out what our issues are last season, should we say. He knows exactly what he needs this season, what he thinks is needed, and the club will be aware of Potter's requirements and what is needed in terms of backing to give us the best chance of success. Obviously, if you keep a head coach in a job, it's because you should believe in them and be backing them. And now we know what we need because Potter has had time to work out what he can do with the players that we've got, what's not good enough, and what we have got to replace. So this means we're not going into pre-season blind. We have seen what the issues are. We have got plenty of time to work out what we can do to better those situations, regardless of how much money we do or don't have. There are certain players with certain attributes that would be able to come in and help the situation. And we've got loads of work to be done still. So we might not be seeing a lot of action as fans this transfer window, but my hope is that behind the scenes, we're working out everything from signings and selling players to the ways that we need to actually approach next season to make a difference. We saw little glimmers of hope that Potter has stopped us shipping so many goals. He stopped us having these huge defeats. We're looking a bit more organised, but there are still major bits missing, mainly in the form of actually getting results and scoring goals. And obviously, we've been talking about this team that is massively depleted and has been for a really long time. So we need to bring in some signings and then we need to make them work. The good news is we know who our head coach is. So if we're bringing in signings, they need to be ones that he can work with, that fit what he thinks is missing right now. And we can go from there and see where we stand as the season begins. And this means there's no reason for us to not hit the ground running next season. Potter will definitely be under a big amount of pressure, as will all other head coaches. But not as a new manager that's just inherited a damaged squad. This will be the squad that the board and Potter have prepared for next season. So we have time right now to prepare it. I hope that they're working collaboratively to be able to find a solution so that we are happy with what we have as the season starts. Obviously, as fans, we want everything. We want every player. We want more budget. But the main point is that if the board and Potter are confident with what they are presenting as pre-season begins or as pre-season goes on and the Premier League season comes to a start, then there are no excuses for us to start slowly or poorly, because basically they've got the power right now to do whatever is needed. And that is why, in my eyes, this pre-season is going to be so important, because it's going to set us up to perform well against these sides. So we're playing Premier League sides, and this is our opportunity to show that we mean business and that we aren't going to be walked over in any way in the coming season. So we've got the chance to play against Man United, Everton and Bournemouth and make our mark. So as a reminder, Man United finished one position below us, Everton one place above us, and then Bournemouth were 5 places ahead of us in the league standings last season. So these are all teams that we need to be competing with very, very seriously next season. And as well as performing well and making them see us as a threat and not going all as West Ham that we didn't really struggle against much last season, we can see how we shape up compared to them, which is going to be very interesting, because Bournemouth obviously did quite well. Everton have been struggling, but Man United, you would say, massively underperformed. So it'll be very interesting to see if they look like a different side to what we saw last season. But we need to be competing with these sides regardless. So yeah, we'll be able to see how we shape up. We'll be able to see any areas very clearly, I think, against these sides that we need to strengthen. And we'll be able to also take note on technical decisions that they're making, which we can then use in the season. Particularly useful because we are facing Everton, I believe, just 6 games into the season. So these are sides that are not going to be massively practiced. We're going to see what they're trying to make happen in pre-season, and we can use it against them. But it's not just taking notes from those other sides and working out where we need to improve. It's also just reminding people that we're not there for the taking, which I feel like by the end of last season, most teams had probably come to London Stadium thinking it'd be a bit of a walk in the park. And the other thing that I think is so important about this pre-season is it's about getting our confidence up. It's about everyone, players, Potter, fans, feeling good about the season. We want players and fans raring to go when the second that whistle blows, excited, buzzing for kickoff, and not afraid and disheartened, which seemed to be a theme last season, which really emerged. And on top of that, you know who we're playing right at the beginning of the season? We have got 4 London derbies in our first 4 home games of the season against Chelsea, Spurs, Palace and Brentford. So having that atmosphere to make an intimidating environment, particularly when other sides are going to be trying to find their feet, it could have a massive impact on the outcome of those games. And I spoke about it in a previous video. But personally, I feel like the start of your season plays a huge part in how successful you are in the overall season. Obviously, there will be sides that defy the odds, but if you can get 4 wins on the bounce, first 4 games of the season, it will feel a lot more fun and straightforward than if we lost the first 4. It goes without saying that as much as you would say they need to be professionals, the players, and they need to just keep their heads up and all of that, it does have an impact. It's the equivalent of you bankrupting your business 4 days in a row and then going into the 5th day feeling really excited about work or really scared. And when you have that fear on a football pitch, you don't make those fun moves. And that's when we've played nice, exciting, fluid football that we know we can play. And also the number of players that it looks as though currently we're not getting rid of that aren't currently playing at their best. If we can bring that back out of them, I think that could be incredible and almost be like new signings for us if we can get them performing at their best. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. It'll be really interesting to see when these preseason games start, to see what we've been working on, what players have been working on, what Potter wants to do in terms of how we're setting up. And yeah, I think we'll get a glimpse of what we could be looking at next season. And I have got everything crossed that this is going to be a positive glimpse where we can say, you know what, we look better than we did when the season finished. This is what Potter's trying to do. Look at that player doing better than he was last season. Because if we can see that, I think it's going to be quite a positive atmosphere. And yeah, basically, I feel like the preseason could determine a hell of a lot. But enough from me. The question I have for you is, how important do you think this preseason is going to be? So for me, it ties in massively with how we strengthen our side. But it will be glaringly obvious where we're lacking, what we've improved with, and what we need to do before the transfer window closes as well. And we need to come out of this preseason ready to fight. And we're going to go head to head, first game of the league, with a Sunderland side who are going to be raring to go. They are going to be so up for this game, and they're newly promoted, and the pressure naturally will be on us to show the difference in caliber of team. But really, it's going to come down to who wants it, and we need to show that we want it from the get-go. So it's going to be an interesting one. But like I said, let me know your thoughts down below in that comment section. And if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button to support the channel, and make sure you've subscribed to West Ham Network as well. But that is all from me for now. I really hope that we're going to see a positive preseason that just makes us all fall back a little bit more in love with football, because it's felt like a pretty grim place in the last season, and we don't want that. We want good vibes around the place. We want everyone to be enjoying watching football. We want the players to be enjoying playing football. We just want to get that happiness back rather than the dread of a West Ham game appearing. We don't want any of that this season. So that is all from me for now. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your Wednesday. But tune in at 5 p.m. as well, where I'll be running through your Hammers headlines for today. I will catch you all later. Have a good one. Go smash the afternoon. Come on, you Irons.